Hello, good morning everybody. Thank you for joining for today's webinar. My name is Guy Holding. I think I've spoken to quite a few of you who are listening before. For those that don't know me, I head up the UK and Ireland market for Resco. One of my responsibilities is to make sure that all our partners and all our clients are familiar with our latest technology, and hence the reason today why we're having this webinar on Resco Routes. And the focus for today's webinar will really look at how Resco Routes can enhance your field operations with live location monitoring, of course. So let's look at some of the industries that we are focusing on, or that we're actually getting interest from at Resco with regards to routes. Obviously you can see those there: energies and utilities, waste management, delivery and transport, construction, healthcare, and of course security patrols. We are seeing a lot more interest from other industries with regards to this, and we do feel that Resco Routes will be a key part of mobile solutions moving forward. So how Resco Routes works, it's 3 modules basically. We have the location monitor, we have a schedule board, and also the mobile application as well for the field users. And I'll be walking through each of you today for that. So let's look at the schedule board first. Obviously for the Dynamics people who are using field service, you'll be using the scheduling board there, but so you have all your operations in one place, of course, and enables you to fast and effectively plan your field workers, of course. We then have the key piece of Resco Routes, which is the location monitor. It enables to keep up with your staff in real time. So it uses the live tracking on the mobile device, and it visually displays that on the location monitor for you as well. We've also took that a bit further for yourselves, so you can actually see into the past or into the future with Resco Routes. So you can see the planned route for that day, but also you can actually see historical data as well. So you can see the route that has been taken, and you can also drill down even further into that data and actually see location, direction, speed and time from records that are stored directly in CRM also. Then we have the mobile application as well. It gives you a personal route planner, which probably most of you are familiar with regards to Resco technology and of course field service. So you can actually see your route that's been scheduled for you for the day. You can also, if you finish a job early, add an additional appointment directly from the application as well. And you can also navigate directly to the next appointment using the native map features of the mobile device. And also, Resco, we enhance and utilize the GPS tracking without any additional hardware. So some of the advantages of Resco Routes, of course, it's available for Resco Cloud as a standalone product or a native integration directly into Dynamics 365. You just enable live location tracking within Woodford there. As I mentioned before, it can be used as a module or standalone. And of course, we've built this on top of the geospatial data. So now I'm going to move forward with a demonstration. I know that's what you all want to see today. So if you just bear with me, I will just quickly share my screen again. So I'm actually showing you now the application, but before I go into that, what I actually want to do is show you the standalone module. You can see the URL there, routes@resco.net. The 3 modules that I mentioned to you before: schedule board, location monitor, and the mobile application as well. So just for the purposes of the demonstration, I will open up the schedule board there. You can see, for those of you that are not familiar with scheduling, or those of you who are with field service, it looks pretty similar, of course. I will just set my times for my working times here, so you can get a better display of the application itself, of course. And I will change the view to day view. So with regards to the scheduler, it really helps you to manage the people working outside the office during the day and the working week, and also allows you to oversee the free resources and their time slots that are available to you. It basically gives you a graphical overview of all the appointments or work orders for each service worker, and it also enables you to see the history of the performed appointments, or you can optimize existing appointments by automation. So the dispatcher can easily create or move an appointment for each worker. He can change the settings and many other features. So I will show you some of the key parts of the scheduler as a standalone product. You can see all our appointments at the top here, of course. And for just the purposes of this demo, I'm simply going to select and drag to the relevant slots there as well. I can also set this to free, and you will see it's scheduled also as well. I can easily move the appointments if I need to from the scheduler as and when needed. We also can change the settings. So as you saw here from the drop down menu, I can set the working hours of course as well, and using rules I can set up the auto scheduling rules also. We also have an interesting feature on our scheduler, which actually allows you to see the completed or cancelled tasks. And you can see that here. And if I click that, you can see all completed or cancelled tasks for that working day, because we have day view attached as well. Any questions at the end of the webinar, please feel free to write them down, and of course we can answer these with regards to each three modules at the end of the demonstration for you today. The next piece for the solution itself is of course the application as well, and I will just show you the application from the AirServe side. Let me just log in here. So I'm showing you from my iPad. So this is what your field worker will see. It's just a configuration of the mobile project for the worker. Obviously you can completely customize and configure home screens right down to your individual field worker's needs and requirements, of course. But for the state of this demonstration today, I just want to show you that the worker, he can see his agenda for the day, of course, both in day, week, or monthly views as well. He can see his next appointment for the day also. And he can actually see his route for the day that's been scheduled for him. Any additional accounts that he wants to add to that, he can simply do this directly from the application itself. Also a feature of the route planner is he can use the device's inbuilt maps to navigate. He clicks to the top right here, as you can see. Just change my location for you to where my data lies for this demo. And then he can actually use the inbuilt map and navigation figures of that device to directly navigate to his next appointment also. So he does not have to re-input information into separate devices. So let's see the mobile worker's next appointment for today, of course. He can also set himself to traveling. He can, if he stops on the way, has a break, he can click that he's on a break. Then afterwards, he can click that he's resumed traveling. You'll see for each input that I do, there are additional entries made automatically onto the timesheet, onto the right-hand side of the screen as well. This can also be done automatically, and one of the future releases of Resco Routes, of course, this will be able to be done based on geolocation. So he can complete his working day, or that task to hand, and then he can actually see his timesheet that's been created for him for that day, of course. And then he can simply submit his timesheets, and that's obviously saved once the device is synchronized directly back into his back-end system. So for this, Dynamics CRM, of course, as well. You'll also notice that everything that I'm showing you for this demonstration is completely offline. So from the top left, you'll see it will be completely offline for the whole duration of this demonstration from the mobile worker. So once he's finished his appointment, he can then move on to his next route. And he can also optimize that route as and when needed. See, saved himself 6 minutes. Another section of Resco Routes, and probably the most important feature, so the dispatcher has actually scheduled his mobile workforce via the scheduling board. The field worker has seen his route, his activities, and his appointments for the day via the mobile application. But one of the most important pieces, as I mentioned, for Resco Routes is actually the location monitor. And what the location monitor enables the dispatcher to see, just initializing it here, is a complete overview of where all his field workers are at any one moment, of course. So we can actually click to live view now. We can see where all the mobile workforces are. We can see the route that they have taken, of course. We can also select each user individually, and then we will actually get some more information. So we see that Matt here, he's actually completed all his tasks for today here. We can look at Boris. We can see also that he's completed his task. Also, what you would see is a dashed timeline. You will see it here of the route that this mobile worker Miro will be taking for his next appointment, of course. You can also click directly onto the van icon, and you can see that this worker he's visiting, you can see the account that he's visiting, you can see the scheduled time and the actual time as well. If he is delayed, warnings will be notified onto the location monitor, and you will see that this worker is delayed on task, of course, or he's delayed en route also. And that actually gives you quite a lot of powerful information, enabling you to dispatch additional resources that are free at that time to cover his workload for him as well. Look at my mobile worker here, and you will see here for the next appointment, which is an inspection, the status is delayed, of course, as well. And this icon will show up so you know that he's delayed, and obviously you're able to dispatch additional resources for that inspection there. What we also have for Resco Routes as well, once we turn off the live view, is we actually have the ability to see a timeline of all our workers. And let me just use the sliding scale time bar here to take you through. You can see them all moving past there, of course, and you can see where they were at that time. The clients that are already using Resco Routes find this feature very useful, Reasons being, if they get a complaint or speeding fine, they're able to drill down into the record that's stored in Dynamics under the mobile audit entity. They can actually then cross-reference that worker's location, where he was traveling, and the speed that he was traveling at as well. Obviously, that could be used more and more for insurance purposes and bringing premiums down for your task force also in the future. You can also click individually into the mobile workers. Let me just click off here, depending on the time, of course, as well. So let me look at Miroslav again. You will see his timeline here. I could then look both back and in the past of his journey for that day. At any point, I can get this information as and when needed. You will see it here, it's changing at all times as well. So the location monitor is the most powerful part of the solution. Of course, for Resco Routes, we really feel that it provides you with great visualization of where your field workers are, both at live, present time, or also in the past and in the future. And it really allows you to see a visualization of your schedule board as well. So I think from demonstration purposes, that covers everything from my side. I'm just going to have a quick look at the questions now from yourselves to see if there's any coming in. If you do have any questions, then please feel free to write them down, of course, as well. So we have a question from Jalise there. Yes, Jalise. So Resco Routes is available with Dynamics 365 Field Service. We do have clients already utilizing the technology in their field service solutions. And the way to enable that is you just enable it live location tracking in Woodford. Then the location monitor becomes available to you under settings under the Resco mobile CRM imported files there. There are additional, of course, license fees for that, and the way we license it is per additional user, it's €15 on top of the field service license per month. Look at the more questions here. So, let me just have a look at these, expand these for you here. Just trying to sort through your questions here. It's hard for me to see your questions coming up on the screen. There we are. So, Sebastian, with regards to Salesforce, when you use Salesforce as the back end, do you need to have the appointment object to be synchronized? Or can you even create your own object to be synchronized on the scheduler, of course? Let me just sort of show you how that is actually be done.
So let me answer the question. Here is Miroslav. I'm a product manager for Resco Routes. So obviously here we are using Resco Cloud for the demo, but this is customizable also in Dynamics. Basically, you go to a mobile project and you go to location tracking, and you are able to select user entity view, which would be probably different for Salesforce and Dynamics, and visit entity view. We are using Dynamics for Resco Cloud, but in your environment, you'll be able to utilize bookable resource or whatever. So, yeah.
So have the appointment object, you can choose that for that, Sebastian.
Let me add that the support for Salesforce is not 100% ready, and we are working hard to bring it for you. So stay tuned for the updates regarding Salesforce.
So for Kai, if you pay extra for the Resco scheduler, you're asking if it's possible to use the Resco scheduler for field service, because the field service scheduler obviously is much more complex in creating bookings, etc. Yes, of course, that can be achieved, of course, and yeah, we will be in contact with regards to how you can do that. Adnan, we've answered your question there with regards to routes being available for Dynamics 365 field service. As I mentioned, just enable it in the mobile project. And Kai's asking, how is this integrated with Dynamics 365 field service? So I think that, we've already answered that question for you. With regards to Gerald's question, will there be any other map engines supported other than Google Maps?
So the thing is that you're probably asking for the location monitor, and the location monitor is tied to Google Maps. We haven't been thinking about any other solutions so far, but if you have something particular in mind, can you please bring it up? Or I'm just assuming that you mean location monitor. So that's tied with Google Maps, and the mobile apps, they use native mapping application. So for iPhone or for iOS it would be Apple Maps, and for Android it would be Google Maps on the mobile devices.
But Gerald, if you do have any ideas or discussions you want around the mapping, then yeah, we can have those at a later date with the full development team here. Yeah. So Steve Shaw, you're asking, is the extra license charged per user, reading the map, or per engineer? The licensing for Resco Routes is per user, and as I mentioned before, it's 15 users per user per month. Obviously you need to enable the mobile devices, of course, and that's how we charge per the mobile user. And Sebastian asking again, so you'll be able to create your own object plan in the table? Yes, that is correct. We will get your Salesforce representative to reach out to you with regards to that.
I'm assuming that, Sebastian, are you using a specific object for the scheduling? So something on your own, or something you designed, something specific? The answer would be yes. You can use whatever makes sense. So we use appointment. For field service, it would be what field service uses. If yourself, yeah.
Hi Brad, okay. Yeah, so can you use real-time traffic with real-time monitoring to adjust estimated arrival times? Yes, you can. You can use the Google API Of course, then you will get real-time traffic monitoring and weather reporting as well. Did that answer your question, Brad? And Sebastian, that's perfect. We'll make Joseph aware after the call. So are there any more questions at present? So I think from our side that rounds everything up. I hope you enjoyed the brief introduction and demonstration into Resco Routes. We obviously have a full roadmap for this product with some exciting new innovative ideas, and obviously we'll be communicating those to you in the near future. But any additional questions, of course, please feel free to contact myself or contact your account representative directly. And for those of you that are attending our conference next week, we have dedicated sessions that will go into a lot more detail of Resco Routes and is what achievable. So please feel free to ask us those questions and find out more about routes at our conference in Rome next week. So thank you very much, everybody. It's been a pleasure speaking to you all. And yeah, we plan to make these webinars weekly now to keep you updated with what's new and innovative at Resco. So we look forward to seeing you every week on the webinars itself. Thank you very much.
Thank you.